Hi guys, so today I'm going to try to just talk to you and not do a voiceover, so we'll see how that goes. My mom wanted these little signs here that she saw in this here catalog. So you can see here it's a 4-piece set for $30, and I told her I can make her them or something very similar using Dollar Tree items and my Cricut. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I just wanted to show you first that I did do a test one off camera. I wanted to try using the heat transfer vinyl because I've never used it before, and as you can see, it didn't it didn't come out too good. But that was because well, A, lack of experience, but B, I did not look up directions. Well, I looked up a couple of quick things and didn't read fully the directions, so I'll talk about that more when I get to the ironing part, but I just wanted to show you guys that this is what we're going to be doing today. And I just wanted to let you know that I will not be showing you me cutting this out on the Cricut because I am new to Cricut and it took me about 2 hours to plan out 4 little tiny labels and get them right. So I'm not the best person to show you how to use a Cricut. Also, if you're curious, the background and the font are just the free ones that come in Cricut Design Space. I do not have a membership for Cricut. And the fruits that I used came from Canva, but it is the pro version of Canva because I do have a membership with Canva. What I picked up was this fabric from Walmart. And these are Fat Quarters by Waverly. So I got these 2 polka dot prints and then a solid red and a solid white. From the Dollar Tree, I picked up 4 of these mason jar decor pieces. I did already rip the flowers off to just see how easily they would come off. Not very is the answer to that. This one's a little cleaner. I sat and picked at it with my fingernail, which is not the most pleasant or safe thing to be doing. So for these other ones, I'm going to try to apply some heat and use some kind of a scraping tool, like maybe this. This is a cake frosting spatula that I got at Dollar Tree. This twine came from Dollar Tree. This is butcher's twine, comes in a 3-pack, and then this is I don't remember what they called it, but it's also from Dollar Tree. I took the label off, so I don't know what it's called, but it's similar to the butcher's twine, just thicker, and it's just plain white. And my cutout designs from Cricut, which you'll see more of in a little bit. And I have my pad to iron on, and I'm going to be using my Cricut mini press and my heat gun to remove the adhesive flowers. Alright, so now I'm going to take my antique wax from Waverly and a baby wipe, and I am going to stain this one. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to prepare my vinyl for the next one. So while I'm weeding this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the mistakes that I had made with my first one. So I had looked up how to use heat transfer vinyl, and I found out that you need to mirror it, which is very important. So at least I did that. And then I found out that, you know, the heat transfer vinyl has its own built-in backing, so you don't need transfer tape. So I did good at the start. But then I decided I was going to try to be smart with the actual ironing process. I looked up how you can layer, and you know, these videos that I was looking at were mentioning things like the heat, but my brain was not computing how hot things are. So when it was recommending a specific temperature, in my brain, I was like, wow, that's really hot. It was like 300 degrees or something like that was like the recommended. And I'm like, wow, 300 is hot. That's got to be high. Because the Cricut mini iron doesn't have temperature. It just has low, medium, and high. So in my brain, 300 is really hot and it must be high. Well, nope, it turns out 300 is low. So I think that was why my first attempt came out so very wonky. And this is for nail polish. You put your bottle of nail polish in here and it holds it for you while you're painting your nails. This one is by the Tweeksy, Tweexy. This is the actual brand name of like the one that I think, or at least I think so, of the one that originally came out. It's actually a ring. So you wear it like this so that you could, you know, paint your nails. Dip, dip, paint, paint. Or you could buy an optional base to set this in so that has weight. There's like sand inside it. So you could set it on your table. That way your bottle theoretically won't tip over. But I saw that people were using it to help with weeding, which you just saw me do. And the little tiny bits get stuck on here. You just go like this and it goes inside here. You can just empty that out later on. So I never used this. I bought it for like the gimmickiness of the nail polish thing and never ended up using it because I very rarely paint my nails. So I was actually pretty excited when I saw that this could be a Cricut accessory. I have my heat set to low. And I'm just going to give this a quick little warm up. Maybe about 5 seconds. And then I'm going to put down my first layer. I'm going to try to use this to like eyeball where it should go. You just want to leave enough room for your little fabric to cover. So I'm going to put it further down here. But I'm going to take some wax paper. I don't really need to because this entire piece of vinyl is covered with the backing, so I really don't technically need this, but I'm just going to use it anyway, just in case, and it's a good habit to have. Or this is actually not wax paper. Wax paper would melt. This is parchment paper. And I'm also going to follow the directions of heating this for 25 seconds. Now, it was a little weird when looking up Cricut things because there was a lot of things that were saying like just press really firmly down and don't move your iron around. However, on the official Cricut like app thing that they have where you can put in your type of material, which iron you're using, and then it tells you how long to do it for, it was saying to move the iron around. So I am not really sure what the proper thing is. Maybe it's because I'm doing it on wood, because it does ask you what you're ironing on, and I said wood. So maybe on fabric you're just pressing, but on wood you should move the iron. I don't know, but that's what I'm doing, is moving it around because that's what it said. The other mistake I may have made is I had just assumed that Cricut vinyl was cold, what they call cold peel. I mean, hot peel, which is where you can peel this backing off immediately while it's still hot. But according, again, to that Cricut little app thing that I used, I should be doing this as a cold peel. So I need to wait for this to cool before I peel this off. So I don't have good adhesion down here. When I went to peel that up, it was coming up. So I'm just gonna go over this a little bit again, press a little harder. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my next layer. Again, I'm just eyeballing it, kind of getting it lined up where I think it should be. 25 seconds again. I'm gonna do 5 seconds on each part of just pressing. And then I'm gonna go over the whole thing, back and forth movement for the 25 seconds, I think. And I am peeling this hot because I'm impatient, and it seemed like when I waited for it to get cooler and tried to peel it, it wasn't stuck. I don't know if that was just because I hadn't stuck it down well enough, or if it was because it was hot. I mean cold. So for the next ones, I'm gonna stick my stem on top of my cherry just temporarily so that I can get the full size in the right spot. Yeah, that looks good enough to me. I'm gonna remove my stem if I can get it. Put this back on and hold for 25 seconds. And lastly, we're gonna do our stemmy stem. Now the shiny vinyl is supposed to be longer and on a higher temp. It's supposed to be medium and 40 seconds, but I'm just gonna go with my low iron for 25 to 30 seconds, like I've been doing right along. I think it'll be all right because it's such a small piece. Okay, so now that everything is tacked down, I'm just gonna give it one last little heat. I just wanted to pop in and add something. So I was looking online to see what the name of the Cricut guide was, which is Cricut Heat Guide. And just to make sure that I was being accurate, I put in the information again, and it looks like it's changed since I filmed this video. So originally, everyday iron on and metallic iron on were two different options on the drop down. Now they're the same option. It says everyday iron on / light / metallic. And when you then choose the material of wood, it's telling me that all three of those types of materials should be medium heat for 40 seconds. That definitely did not say that before, so Cricut must have updated their little app or whatever you want to call it. So I did just want to let you know that it should be medium heat for 40 seconds for both everyday iron-on and metallic. I also double checked about the iron and moving it around just in case I was wrong, but I can confirm that it does say press while moving with firm pressure. So with the wood, you are going to be definitely moving the iron.
I also double checked about the cold or hot peel. It does say to remove the liner when it's cool to the touch. However, I was not having great success with doing that. I felt like it was working better peeling it hot. So do with that what you will.
Still got some wrinklage. Not as bad as the first time. I don't know if you can really see it, but I think this one looks better. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but around the edges of where the two vinyls overlapped, there's sort of like this residue around there, like as if, like when you have glue and glue oozes out from under something. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I have less of that on this one. I'm almost tempted to Mod Podge over it just to see if that would even out that weird glue looking, adhesive looking area. Might hide it. So I think I might afterwards go over these with Mod Podge. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I did the fabric. So this comes folded into squares. Out of laziness, I just cut off 2 squares. And that seemed to be the perfect amount of fabric for this. Now, because this one has this Maker's Mark edge, I don't know if it will be enough fabric, so we might have to cut off a different square. I didn't want to have to iron. That's what I meant by laziness. So if I use these pre-existing squares, I don't have to iron the lines out. All right, and the reason that I'm doing 2 here is because I did have to do 2 for the white because it was semi-transparent. So I doubled it up, and then I'm going to double the rest of them up so that the thickness is consistent. So for this one, I think I'll use the thick plain white. I'm just gonna kind of guess how much I need. I'm just folding the fabric over the top with one of the points facing down in the front. And if you are having trouble getting the fabric to lay the way that you want, you could tack it down with some hot glue first. And I'm using the ridges that are carved into this on the sides as my little spots to kind of hold my string. Alright, so I just wanted to get that initially on there, and then I can kind of pull at the fabric to get it where I want it. There we go. Have that where I want it. I'm just going to trim this to be even with that one. And then I'm actually going to loop some through here again. I would like to have a double bow going on here. The other one also has a double bow. Let's trim those off, kind of floof it around to where it needs to be. And our cherry jar is done. Gonna go over it with some Mod Podge, like I said earlier, just to kind of protect it and maybe get rid of that weird glossiness around the letters in the black. This Mod Podge is way too thick. But the container that I had it in is not quite airtight, so she got a little thick. I could wipe it off entirely and start over with new Mod Podge, but the theme of the day has been Katie is lazy. So we're gonna call that good enough, and we'll come back and see what it looks like when it's all dry.
So there is my dupe for the 7th Avenue wooden jelly jar decor signs. Let me know in the comments below how you think I did. And if you have any suggestions about Cricut or anything that you saw me do today, please share them in the comments below. I hope you all are happy and safe and healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.